Hi everyone, I'm Jack Wells with B&M Pole Company. I just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of describe to you how poles have evolved over the decades when it relates to crappie fishing. First is the bamboo pole. To this day, the action of a rod, the way the rod bends, its parabolic action, really the bamboo pole is still the gold standard that we use. A little bit of backbone, loose tip for light bites. Bamboo has always been a stalwart go-to item. And again, the bend is still what we're looking for even today, regardless of the material made. But as time evolved, people started moving into the fiberglass rods. This is our Black Widow pole, a pole that we've had out on the market for probably 60 years now. But again, despite the material, and it's a little bit lighter than bamboo, but even though the material's lighter, the action of this rod still emulates a bamboo pole. Well, as time goes by, and we all know that crappie feed upward, and it takes a very different type of pole to notice that strike, we moved into graphite. So as time evolved and sensitivity became more and more critical, the graphite jig pole was introduced. We introduced this Bucs graphite jig pole 1979. It was the very first graphite crappie rod introduced into the U.S. Light, sensitive, very light tip to see the lightest of bites, but even still the action will emulate bamboo in many ways. Then you have the handle, extended back here, hold your grip here. This is the standard vertical jig position right here. But our poles have also changed, not necessarily because of material, but because of techniques. These days, people have moved from vertical jigging, and now they're doing a lot of spider rigging or trolling, where you see all of them sitting off of the front, or you see a lot of them sitting off the back. That's also changed a lot of how a rod is made up. For example, this is our power troller here, and you'll notice short foregrip, long handle, but it also has a collar so that it can sit into the rod holder. This gives you a lot more durability over time. It keeps the EVA from cracking, but it's a change in the product makeup simply because of the technique being used. Now, on the vertical jig side, there's still some changes there. Remember, we have this as the standard vertical jig position. But as time has gone by, we've discovered that a bottom-mounted reel seat gives you more extension of the pole. It can give you a shorter foregrip, but when you put a reel here, it'll balance this pole out. So regardless of the weight of the pole, it will seem a little bit lighter while it's in your hands simply because of the balance. Another change that has occurred over the years due to some changes in techniques are the length of the rods. In the old days, we had our one-piece bamboo poles, and they typically went up to 12 feet maximum. Then we started introducing 14-foot poles, 16-foot poles. But as trolling techniques have evolved and people have desired to get their bait presentation further away from the boat, trollers now are using anywhere from an 8-foot to a 10-foot, all the way up to, yes, a 20-foot graphite pole. Keeps the bait away from the boat. The flexibility a lot of times will allow your bait presentation to stay in the strike zone regardless of the waves or the wind, but that is one of the many changes that have occurred to affect length over the years. These are just some of the many things that have changed over the years as techniques and materials have improved for crappie fishing. I'm Jack Wells with B&M. Thank you for listening.